Hello everyone, RJ from Vidhya Communication Enhancers is back again. Today I have one more interesting story, the slaughterhouse of ours. At 39, a surgeon named Ishan was called to perform an emergency operation. The patient was 23, massive internal bleeding. The team worked desperately. At 3:17 a.m., the monitor went flat. They tried again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Finally, Ishan removed his gloves. Time of death 3:24. The patient's father was waiting outside. Doctor, Ishan had delivered this sentence hundreds of times. I am sorry. The father collapsed. The mother screamed. Ishan walked away. He entered the washroom and stared at himself in the mirror. Another human being had just begged the universe for 5 more minutes. And somewhere else in the same hospital, someone was complaining because his shift had 5 minutes remaining. Something about that contradiction disturbed him. That night, he couldn't sleep. He began calculating 23 years, roughly 200,000 hours. It sounded enormous until he started subtracting childhood, sleep, eating, commuting, illness, responsibility, work necessary merely to survive. The truly discretionary portion was much smaller than he thought about himself. 39. How many evenings remained? How couldn't he couldn't know? Thousands, hundreds, one. The thought frightened him, but within a week he forgot. Life returned. Work, dinner, phone, streaming, scrolling, bed. One evening he came home exhausted. He intended to read a medical paper. Instead, he watched something. One episode, another, another. At 1:46 a.m., he looked at the clock. 3 hours gone. He felt guilty. Then something occurred to him. Gone where? People always wait. I wasted 3 hours. As though the hour had fallen behind a sofa, as though they could be recovered, but those hours weren't missing. They had been spent. That word disturbed him. Spent. Money could be earned again. 3 hours couldn't. He opened his banking application. Every transaction had a record. 800 rupees, 2400 rupees, 17,000 rupees. Then he imagined another account, not money, life, deposit at birth, unknown, no balance displayed, no overdraft, no loan, no refund. Every second, minus one, minus one, minus one, minus one. And the horrifying feature, the account never showed the remaining balance. He could have 40 years or 50 minutes. He looked back at the television. Suddenly, the episode seemed absurdly expensive, not evil, not forbidden, expensive. He was purchasing it with something whose remaining quantity he wasn't allowed to know. He turned it off. The next morning, he wrote a sentence above his desk. Know the price before you buy. For several weeks it worked. Then familiarity killed it. The sentence became wallpaper. He began escaping again. Difficult paper, phone. Free afternoon, streaming. Stressful operation, video. Lonely, scroll. His brain had discovered anesthesia, not chemical anesthesia, attention anesthesia. Whenever existence became uncomfortable, he could temporarily stop experiencing himself, and unlike the anesthesia he administered in surgery, this required no prescription. One tap, gone. One evening, Ishan's father called. Come home this weekend. Ishan was busy. Next weekend. You said that last weekend. I knew. Definitely next week. His father laughed. Fine. They hung up. Ishan returned to work. Next weekend came. He was tired. He stayed at home. He watched an entire season. His father called again. Ishan saw the name. He thought, I will call tomorrow. The phone stopped ringing. Tomorrow morning, another call came. Not from his father, his mother. Heart attack. By the time Ishan arrived, the man was gone. After the funeral, Ishan entered his father's room. Everything remained: glasses, medicine, clothes, an unfinished newspaper. His father's phone was charging beside the bed. Ishan opened their call history. Missed call, missed call, missed call. Short conversation, missed call. Then he remembered something. The night of one of those missed calls, he had been watching a series. He desperately tried to remember what happened in the episode. Nothing. Not the plot, not the character, not even the title. But he remembered pressing next episode. He sat on his father's bed for a very long time. Some, some, something inside him broke, not because entertainment had killed his father. That would have been ridiculous. His father would have died anyway. What destroyed Ishan was something much simpler. He had behaved as as though important things could always be postponed and replaceable things could not. The episode was available tomorrow. His father wasn't. The paper was available tomorrow. The conversation wasn't. The project could have begun tomorrow. That particular evening could not. For years he had unconsciously delivered life backward. Urgent pleasure received now. Important life received later. But later was not a location. It was a gamble, and eventually everyone loses it. Months passed. Ishan became quieter. One night, a junior surgeon found him studying alone. Sir, you are already worked 12 hours. Why are you still here? Ishan closed the book. Because I need to understand this procedure. Tomorrow, Ishan smiled. I will sleep soon. Then he added, but I stopped automatically giving tomorrow work that belonged to today. The junior doctor didn't understand. Ishan pointed toward the operating theater. Do you know what dying people ask for? Family, society, sometime God, sometime pain relief. Yes, then Ishan said, but underneath almost everything, they are asking for more time. 1 hour, one conversation, one sunrise, one chance to repair something, one chance to say something, one chance to finish something. He continued, and do you know what healthy people constantly ask for? The junior doctor shook his head. For the first for time to pass faster, the room became silent. We say we are bored. We skip introductions. We accelerate video. We binge watch night. We scroll until hour disappear. We say, I need to kill some time. Ishan experienced change. I have watched people die begging for the exact substance the living the living casually announce they want to kill. Neither spoke for several seconds. Then Ishan said, that contradiction cured something in me. Not entertainment. He still watched film. He still took holidays. He still wasted occasional evening. He slept. He laughed. He lived. But he stopped using entertainment as anesthesia against a difficult emotion because whenever his hand automatically reached for escape, he remembered the operating room, 3:17 a.m. A 23-year-old heart fighting desperately for another beat, and somewhere outside, millions of healthy hearts beating while their owner desperately searched for something to make the evening disappear. Year later, Ishan became old. A young doctor once asked him, "How did you become so focused?" Ishan corrected him, "I am not. I get distracted. I procrastinate. I want comfort." Then what changed? Ishan looked at the clock. Tick, tick, tick. I stopped hearing that sound as time passing. Tick. I started hearing it as inventory leaving. Tick. And because I don't know how much inventory remained, tick, I became careful about what I purchased. The young doctor looked at his phone. Ishan stopped him. Don't become afraid of enjoying life. That would waste it too. Rest when you need rest. Watch something because you genuinely choose to enjoy it. Sleep enough to protect the mind you are trying to build, but never confuse escape with rest. He pointed toward the young doctor's chest. A heartbeat, then another, because somewhere tonight someone is offering everything they own for another hour, another heartbeat, and you have that hour, another. The question is not whether you spend it, you must. Another, the only question, another, is what you buy. The doctor left. Ishan remained alone. His phone displayed a recommendation. For a second, his thumb removed. For a second, his thumb moved toward it automatically. He stopped, not because watching was forbidden, but because he recognized the moment. Escape. He put the phone down, looked at the unfinished work before him, and asked the question he had asked himself for decades. If this were one of our I begged to have back at the end of my life, would I do with it? What would I do with it? Then he began. There are three lines here worth repeatedly imprinting. Healthy people constantly ask for time to pass faster, while dying people ask for more of it. Later is not a location, it is a gamble. And when the automatic binge trigger appear, if this were one of the hour I begged to have back at the end of my life, what would I do with it? One correction matters. Don't use this philosophy to steal from sleep. Sleep is not a waste of time. Deliberate rest maintains the brain you are trying to train. The target is the unconscious transition from boredom, confusion, stress to escape. So, with this point, we are ending today's story. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.